Hey there guys, Artistic Nick here, thanks for the click. In today's drawing video, I'm going to be showing you step by step how to draw Deadpool. I've had a few requests coming in recently asking me how exactly I draw Deadpool. I've done quite a few very detailed Deadpool drawings over the last few months, and I've had a few requests coming in just to say, could I do one that isn't time-lapsed and just go through the process that I would do to draw anything. So I found a couple of nice reference images of Deadpool and I thought I would just talk you through the entire process. So this video is going to take a little bit longer than the usual time-lapse videos, which are about 3 or 4 minutes long. This one comes in at about 11 minutes, so I hope you stick around till the end. I'm sure you'll see that the finished Deadpool cartoon looks really cool. It's a very easy drawing to do, but it looks very effective towards the end. So as you can see here, we're starting off with quite a rough circular shape. This doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. We can refine and make changes as we go along. I'm using an HB pencil for this, but I would suggest using a lighter pencil to begin with, maybe a 2H or a 4H. I'm actually only using the HB just so that it shows up on camera a little bit better than the lighter pencils. But whichever pencil you're using, make sure you're using a very light touch so that you can make corrections as you go along. Once you've got your circle down, we're just going to bring 2 lines from either side, and then we're going to come down into a V shape, and this is going to give us a sort of a chin shape. The distance between the bottom of the circle and the bottom of the chin are about equal, so we've got a center point which is the bottom of the circle. We're going to find a midsection which comes all the way from the bottom of the chin all the way to the top of the circle. This is just so that we can start to get things slightly more symmetrical. Next we're going to draw Deadpool's eyes. We're just going to get a rough idea of where the placement should be. So we're going to use almond shaped, 2 almond shaped eyes, and they're sort of towards the bottom of the circle, and trying to make sure that we're getting them an equal distance away from the edge and the center line that we've already drawn down. Again, these don't have to be absolutely perfect to start with. What we are going to do at the end of the drawing is we're going to ink the lines in. So if you haven't quite got some of the lines spot on, you can, like I said, make corrections as you're going along, or you can make refinements when you're putting the ink in later on in the drawing. Now we've got the placement of the eyes, we're actually going to come in with some lines to the side of Deadpool's chin. We're going to draw his neck and his shoulders in. This drawing is sort of the top half of Deadpool's body, so it's his head, his neck and the top of his shoulders. So we're going to come down with some vertical lines for the neck, and then we're going to come diagonally out to bring out the shoulder muscles of Deadpool and just make this look slightly more cartoonish. They don't need to necessarily be perfect proportions. Obviously Deadpool's got some rather big muscles around the shoulder area, so you can go a little overboard with these if you wanted to make it look very cartoon looking. Now, coming down from Deadpool's shoulders, going down into his back, he does have his iconic swords, so he does have 2 sort of samurai swords coming up. So we're just going to draw some lines coming up from the shoulders and making sure that they are roughly going at the same angle as one another and they're roughly the same length. But again, when we're doing cartoon work, things don't have to be absolutely perfect. They don't need to be totally accurate, because like we say, we are drawing a cartoon here. So as I'm sure you guys all know, Deadpool is quite a moody character, and we're going to bring some of this character out in a second by actually drawing some eyebrows in. Now when we are drawing cartoon work, the eyebrows are a big telltale sign as to understand what mood the character's in. So with this Deadpool drawing here, we're going to draw these kind of semi-angry looking eyebrows, which we're going to come down and we're going to flick up towards the edges of the eyes. These 2 lines that meet in the middle, this sort of brow, the furrow of the brow, really does give your character a lot of sort of menacing, a menacing look to him. I can remember drawing Ninja Turtles when I was probably about 10 or 11, and this was one of the things that I did make sure that I always tried to capture. You can change the mood of a character just by the position that you do put these eyebrows in. At the top of Deadpool's head here, we have that slight tip of his hood You do see this on a lot of the cartoons and the films as well. So it's almost the back of his hood, and it comes up to a slight point, so making sure that we get that in, and we've just slightly offset it from the center, so it's not absolutely in the center, it's just slightly to the right. What you'll see me doing now is I'm just starting to refine some of these lines. I'm just starting to add a few details in, and I'm making some of these lines slightly darker. Now, once I'm happy with the general shape of Deadpool's head, what we're going to start doing now is we're going to start adding some of the details, some of those details that will really start to transform this into Deadpool. And again, one of the iconic parts of Deadpool's face is the shapes around his eyes. So he has these almost two black, leathery looking shapes that cover his eyes. They're not quite a circular shape, so they have got corners and edges to them. Trying to make sure that these are, like we've said before when we did the eyes, roughly an equal distance away from the side of the head and coming into the same point towards the center of the head, and making sure that these are going to be a very similar length depending on how the head of your character is orientated, but we are looking sort of straight on at Deadpool here, so making sure that these two shapes are going to be roughly the same height and the angles are going in the same direction. One's not steeper than the other, and this now really is starting to give Deadpool that cartoony look, and it's gone from just looking like a generic face. Now you are starting to see that this is turning into like we say, a Deadpool cartoon version. So as you go through your drawing, make sure that you are drawing what's actually there, not what we think is there. I can always remember an art teacher talking to me when I was sort of about 11 or 12 years old and I was in high school, saying make sure that you draw what you see and not what you think you see. So we all understand how a head should look, and we understand that there are eyes and eyebrows and cheekbones and noses and things like that, but make sure that you're drawing what is really there in the reference or from the picture that you're trying to copy. So we're adding more details now. We're starting to add some of the textures and some of the details on the clothing around Deadpool's neck. I'm making sure that as I'm doing this, I'm not pressing on too hard. If you press on too hard with the pencil, what starts to happen then is you start to damage the tooth of the paper. And what this means is it's going to be very difficult for you to erase and get rid of some of those lines. Like I've said, towards the end of this video, I do start to ink the lines in, so I'm using a permanent marker or a fine line marker. And what we then do once the ink's dried, and this is very, very important, make sure that your ink dries, we're then going to start to rub out the pencil lines, and we're going to be left with some very clean lines which are just in ink. So making sure at this stage you're not pressing on too hard, because this will actually ruin the final look and you'll have score marks and pencil marks that you really don't want to be there. So this is about the fourth or fifth step-by-step drawing tutorial that I've done recently. I hope you're enjoying these. I know they're not quite as realistic as some of the drawings that I've done before, but I have had a lot of requests coming in from people almost saying that they're really enjoying the time-lapse videos and the very detailed work that I'm doing, but some people are finding it very difficult to follow. So could I have done really some step-by-step work? So I hope you're enjoying these. They're really fun to make. They don't take an awful long time. I hope that you are giving them a go. Don't forget, I'd love to see some of your work, so you can get hold of me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. The links to all of my social platforms are down below in the description, and it'd be great if you could fire me across some of your attempts, some of your drawings, some of your cartoon work that you've done, some of your realism. It'd be really great to see that and connect with you on there. So don't forget, go and find me on social media. If you have any comments about this video or any future videos you'd like me to make, leave me one down below in the comments section. I am doing request videos, so if there's a cartoon character you'd like me to draw, whether that's a step-by-step guide or you'd like me to do something realistic, maybe you'd like to challenge me to an art battle, then don't forget, leave me a comments down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I hope that you guys would consider subscribing to my channel. I've almost reaching 2,100 subscribers, so my subscribers are going up really quickly now. I'm really happy with this. It just means that I'm making videos that you guys are into and you're enjoying. So don't forget, go and hit the subscribe button. I'm having a real blast with the channel at the moment. I'm having so much fun with it. I've been challenged to drawing some really different things. I don't know if you saw my recent aeroplane video, but a lot of people have commented on that and said that's one of my best drawings. And it's the first time I've drawn an aeroplane. So if there's something you'd like me to draw, give me a challenge. Don't forget, either get hold of me on social media or leave me a comment down below. We're sort of getting towards the end of the pencil work now, and you can see that I've been adding some finer details in, creases in the hood. I've added some more details to the swords, so we're not far off now from going in with the permanent ink pen. And like I've said on previous videos, when you do your inking, before you attempt to rub anything out, make sure that this ink is absolutely dry. I've ruined so many pictures before by rubbing out before the ink was dry. So for this, I'm using a 0.2 fine tip permanent marker. You can get these from any stationery store, and they just give you great control. So as you can see, I'm making slight adjustments here and there, but I'm basically following the general flow of where the pencil lines were. That's my finished Deadpool step-by-step drawing. I hope you like this. I hope you give it a go. It's quite easy, but I'm sure you'll agree it's quite an effective drawing. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. I'm having so much fun with it. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Hit subscribe, smack the notifications button, follow me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter.